Back to the 80 Star Basketball Channel. Okay, so went on vacation and I came back to this gem of an interview, and I thought I would talk to it. So I came back, I watched this, and I missed it after a couple days, and I went, oh man, this would have been great to talk about. And I was like, well, why don't I do a response? Because it's got my absolute favorite content creator, Dustin, and someone who I just kind of see anytime Dustin talks is just like eye to eye. It's like, oh my gosh, this guy is like, he's just like this massive voice of reason. But he also talks well. He explains himself very good and is clear. It's kind of funny, Dustin, in your video, you're kind of like saying, back then I sucked. I was the only guy there for it. And, back when I started, I got kind of lucky because I was the only one making it. But man, I wasn't doing well. And that's kind of where I see myself right now. It's like, man, I'm not putting out the best stuff or stuff that I want, but I'm the only one doing it, for Star specifically. So I just kind of had to laugh. But, talking, this interview was Sports Card Madness. So what I'm going to do is a response video here, and I have a limited amount of time, so this one's going to be kind of off the cuff. But I came back to this, and I said this about Sports Card Madness before. I've kind of watched them. I really like these guys. They're 86 Fleer, and we probably would get together and debate, and may or may not agree with me. That doesn't matter. The fact is I can tell from their videos. I like the enthusiasm and level headed, but they obviously can take information and process it. These aren't like Dustin said. There's some people in the hobby that have no idea what they're talking about. They get information and they just pound, and they're trying to be as loud as possible, and you're wrong, and they don't know what they're talking about. And to me, for this 84 Star versus 86 Fleer debate, which is what, I'm going to focus on this part of the interview only. They talk about other stuff, but I'm just going to focus on this. But they kind of come out, and it seems like they listen. These are the type of guys that they process information, they can do it, and then they come to their conclusion, but they're willing to take in new information and view things different, because they sound like, when Nick talks, it sounds like all similar backgrounds. Dustin kind of had the same background as me. He was back in the 80s, 90s. I was too. However, I actually got back into it heavy from about 2004 to about 2007. For about 3 years, I was collecting heavy, and then I got out of it for a while, and then got back in after COVID. But just that same thing that we all kind of have, dads and relatable. But for us, kind of, going back in the day, I collected, and to give you a little bit of background where I'm coming from, I was a Fleer collector. I was only, all packs. I drove my bike, 5 miles for 3 packs of 88 Fleer. I had 86 Fleer packs that I opened, and they're all scattered on the bottom of my dad's van. And picking them up, and I grew up. That's where my nostalgia is. And if anything, I would have a massive bias towards that. However, the last 25 years, I am a data, so I'm a software engineer, but I deal with data models that are, vast amounts of data, complex structures, and complex modeling. And I have to debate people. I have to look at something and come to, hey, more information is always better. More good information. You don't want bad data. And that's partially what I see, kind of in this realm. So I'll talk to that in a little bit. But, you know, I have to crunch and look at data. So my perspective came from data modeling and whatnot, where I came to my conclusions with Star and whatnot. But after so long of doing data modeling, it's just this. We all have like a logical side. We all have an emotion. We're all human. We're emotion creatures of emotion, and the hard part is coming together and actually talking and seeing and with viewpoints, because generally a lot of people, when the money's involved, like with this 86 Fleer Jordan, there's so many more people with a vested interest on and money that and cash, that it makes the debate difficult, because a lot of things are to shut down Star, like, hey, pay no attention to the man behind the curtain, don't look at Star. And that's the way it always was for a while. And it's now with PSA legitimizing and showing that Nat Turner, the head of PSA, came out and said, flat out, the 86 Fleer is not the rookie card, the 84 star is. That made my eyes pop. When someone is willing to say, and I've seen it in another article that someone said, really it's the emperor with no clothes. You're not allowed to talk about star or say it. And all these things kind of got to me actually researching and looking into and going for myself. And so, I'll talk to it. Dustin in this interview kind of takes he takes a softer tone than what I've seen him take in some of his videos, which I think, as I kind of assessed, and Dustin, correct me if I'm wrong or anything, but I think he kind of came to the same thing, which I'm going to talk to. He kind of came to his data analysis conclusion, and then kind of coming to the point of, I can give you the information. Once you get it and you choose not to do anything with it, or choose to not, react or change course, or you want to sit, do whatever, that's the way it's going to be. It's going to be. And that's kind of what I took away from his take on this, is that, it was kind of a, hey, I like both cards, and I do. Again, my background is 86 Fleer, but I simply do. I think both cards have their place. Do I think the 84 star is the true rookie? And I come to that by data analysis, which I'll share in a little bit. But I truly just look at the 86 Fleer will always be iconic. It will always be valuable. And to some people, it's always going to be the rookie card, the flagship rookie. That's the way it's going to be because of, for whatever reason they've chosen. Again, this whole thing with rookie, it's all perception, and I'll talk to that in a little bit. But real quick, just again, just respect for all you guys. That's why I'm taking the time to do this. Is actually, it's nice to be in this. I might be talking to myself, and this might be unsolicited, but I thought it'd be fun to do. And real quick, just kind of a fact check and clarification point is, Dustin, you were speaking to, you kept looking for the name. BCCG is actually, I think, what you were looking for as far as the kind of the lower brand of BGS or BVG. And this is, this is a Mike Stasic card. So Mike Stasic actually owns this. Mike Stasic is the guy who kind of invented those on card autos, where he took the sticker and he put it on 86 Fleer. Nick, I think you've talked to that in one of your videos, and he actually spoke with you to clarify. But yeah, he and I, we go back and forth, and this is one of the things that he decided to show me that he had this weekend. So as I was coming back from Huntington, he kind of shared this with me. The other thing, really quick, is also you kept calling it the 85 star, which is very confusing because most in the community and as PSA notes is actually 84 star 101. The 85 is on the card, but really, if you talk to people, it's 3 years. There's the 83, 84, and 85 star sets. The year after this, the second year Jordan card is the second year, and the 86 Fleer would be, going along the line of what was produced after. It's the third year card. So that's kind of, this is more referred to as the 84 star Jordan 101. And he kept saying 85 star, and it kept it kept hurting my ear as I kept taking it. And I was just like, something I kind of withdraw. You can call it the 85 star, of course. BGS actually calls it, just like in here in BCG, the 8485 star. But just kind of like community wise, that's the way they would refer to it. Okay, so I said all that, and I am gonna, kind of going into, here is how I would answer the question. What do you think about the debate? Now that we have the two sides, and want to say, I kind of said all my background to say that I'm not some star advocate. I didn't, I haven't been 30 years into star cards. I basically came here. I just like the NBA. I like the NBA's trading cards. I like the 80s. I like the 90s. That's what got me here. And my nostalgia should be in Fleer. However, when it got down to education and research, it was very clear. The data was clear to me beyond any reasonable doubt that Star is legitimate. It is the rookie year. It is, for Jordan. It is for the Hall of Famers. And I can show that and show why some of the, I kind of looked at it as, you guys, when you're saying it, almost talking to it as a negative, like you're in these camps and now, that's just came about. Well, it's always been debated. There's always been people in Star that have been saying it's legitimate, and they've been saying it for a reason. And the reason I don't think it's a negative, I think it's good. The fact that you're even talking about it is because you've been educated a bit more. That is why you're even asking. If there wasn't a Star Camp, you wouldn't even be able to know about these cards. So, really, it comes down to education. Are people being informed and knowing what the actual good information is? That is where I think that this debate really lies, is that it isn't so much, I think it's been a bad information. I can actually prove that in a minute. And I'm going to use your favorite tool, Nick, AI. Haha. Nick created a AI Jordan thing for 86 Fleer, which I just found funny, but he did it. He had the Michael Jordan topping saying the 86 Fleer is the true rookie card, the 84 Star is not. And I just laughed. But, using AI to generate, and I'll show you that, in a second here. But the key here isn't that it's a bad thing that you have people speaking up for Star. Fleer already kind of was, Fleer was definitely over the years been just the rookie card. Like Nick, like you said, it was Fleer and it was done. Right. That's because, as Dustin kind of pointed out, the only person with a megaphone in 1990 told us what, and was influenced by industry and all the dealers and everything, and had a whole hobby to think about. He didn't particularly care the Michael Jordan exactly. It's like, okay, this is a decision, and he was put into that position, but that position was fundamental in shaping how these cards played out for so long. And just like Dustin, 11, gosh, what a, kind of a dumb move on his part for all the shenanigans after. And that definitely hurt Star, but the classification really was the important piece. And educating people on what Star is and what's happening, or, kind of like you'll hear it really comes down to, when you look at it from a data classification perspective, it just comes down to randomized pack pulled. And because these are, and I'm showing these right here, people say, okay, start off, the whole rookie label is bad. It's calling it the 86 Fleer, just by definition, is not a rookie card. It is, he's got 2 years of stats. So by definition, it cannot be a rookie card. So what are we actually talking about? I guess we're talking about the first license card, NBA license card. Well, it can't be that because the Star is that. Okay, so we're going to be talking about the first license card that was nationally distributed. Well, Star was that. Was it as much? No, depends on what you compare it to. And again, like in my Beckett video, if you're comparing it to 1990s baseball, 85 basketball, 85 basketball cards, that simply was two different contexts. Just like tobacco cards and packs, they're different contexts. And so when you're looking at these, when you're getting down to that definition, okay, so it's what's the first license card that's nationally distributed that was done in packs? And you say, well, these aren't packs, these are team bags. No, they're not. Some of them were done in teams. Some of them were done organized by a different way. And like this is a base set. These are base set cards that are distributed in a pack. You can call it a bag, you can call it a pack. I like how Steve Taft put it when he said these are packs. But this is from the base set. It has Olympic, and then it has award winners on the back. That's not a team. So they were organized. You simply knew what you were getting when you got the packs. But you needed to buy a bunch of packs to make a base set. Well, so as you can see, this really, really goes more in line with a regular standard issue card. Then it's just simply not gambled upon when purchasing it. That's it. That's the only difference. It is not randomized. That key word is the only thing that people kind of do. Well, when I'm looking at it, when I owned my 86 Fleer, and I came to this conclusion, and I'm kind of looking at it going, I just want to own the Jordan rookie. I'm not out for money. Okay. Well, to me, it's very clear that these cards, and especially now that Nat Turner and everyone else is kind of popping up and going, the 84 Star is the legitimate card. It is the real deal. that is when, okay, yeah, it isn't just me, and it's what I've kind of always thought. And I like to use, I'm a very much a Warren Buffett type investor. And two things he said that I like that play into this. And he said, first of all, make sure you understand your business. If I don't understand the business, I move on. With 86 Fleer, I didn't understand it. It doesn't make sense to me when people give me that argument. It doesn't logically add up. When I do my data modeling vids, I'll show you it doesn't data classification match up. And it's definitely something that I look at, and it just doesn't really make sense. When I own the star, it's what are you comfortable with? And I was not comfortable with that. I'm very comfortable with the star card. And the other thing that Warren Buffett says is time is the friend of good companies, it is the enemy of bad ones. Well, time here is the friend, basically, could kind of synonymously say it with time is the friend of good fundamentals, it is the enemy of bad fundamentals. The fundamentals are on Star's side. If it was not a licensed brand, we wouldn't even be having this talk. But the debate is good for education, just like you guys are asking questions now, and just like Dustin is coming out and answering them. People are now more aware. Dustin is kind of saying the thing that frustrates him is looking at people going, they don't know anything of what they're talking about, but they're the ones beating the table the loudest and saying, no, the hobby thinks this. And it's like, no, it just comes down to perception. If your perception is that the randomized pack pulled is everything to you, and that's exactly what you need, you collect that card. If you don't agree with that and say, well, this is a basketball card, it's NBA licensed from 84, his rookie year. I don't care if UPS delivered it, FedEx, I don't care how it got to me. Or it went to which card shop and I went and purchased it. That much to me doesn't matter. Just like Jeremy Lane, that's exactly Jeremy Lane from Sports Card Live said. Like, I don't care how it was distributed. And but for the people that generally have a vested interest, that's what they're going to go to. So that's for you to come to your conclusion. But given the information, I think it's very, very clear that the data classification is simple. That the 84 star, simply by definition, is also a rookie card. Okay, so I'm going to show off that bad data and AI thing that I mentioned before, and kind of show and prove that a little bit here, that we're dealing with part of the reason for this classification now, and what it really comes down to is perception. So, and real quick, I did misspeak earlier. I said that I'm not a star advocate. Actually, I would say that yes, I am now, because simply to, one, get people educated, but also I'm not an advocate for Star like the company. I'm an advocate for what that was produced during those years. The cards are very comprehensive of the NBA for those years, more so than Fleer. They're more like Topps. Star was more like Topps. Look at the 84 base set. There are 288 cards, more than double the 86 Fleer set. It has bench warmers and everything. So, in terms of it covering the NBA, it did a really good job as far as I like the design personally and whatnot. But you can look, it had so many cards and a lot to collect over there in that universe. But getting back to AI, and bad data. So coming back to it, well, part of it, when I went to, for just like using AI to answer a few questions, I thought it'd be interesting. Ask AI, what's the Jordan? Here's the question I asked. Is the 1984 Star 101 Jordan considered the rookie card? And it basically said it's not often considered earliest, or is often considered one of the Jordan's earliest cards. It's not widely recognized as the rookie card. The reason is that it was produced by a lesser known company that was not licensed by the NBA. So this is right here showing you that the perception, the LLMs are basically working off of the internet of data, and they're seeing that everyone is pretty much throwing out incorrect information. So, because we know that's not true, it was licensed by the NBA, but according to the internet, the vast majority is incorrect information. Well, just as you being investors, you know that if you see something that's fundamentally incorrect, there is a weakness there. There's a chance to profit. You could say that, but something is wrong with that because if you know Chat GPT on these prompts, you can actually have a conversation, and then you can ask it again. Said, well, you can give it more information, and then see what it says. Then I said, well, so I decided to inform Chat GPT. If it was licensed, would it be the rookie card? So if the Star Jordan was officially licensed by the NBA, would it be considered the rookie card? And AI responded that if it was, then it would likely be considered his official rookie card. So, and then it kind of gives us reasons and whatnot. So I thought I'd throw that out as kind of an interesting thing in my data modeling that I was waiting for. But I thought this would be a good thing to throw out for you guys in terms of what I'm trying to talk to the debate. It's really good what is happening in that education is getting out. It is not about trying to pick a fight. It is not trying to come out. I don't wake up in the morning, oh, who can I piss off today on 86 Fleer folks? It's the least of what I want to do. However, if when I went to make purchasing decisions, I spent a lot of money on something that dealers and everyone else is telling you that look at this, don't look at Star, look at this. And then when I actually looked at the information and got educated, I would much prefer the Star card because to me that makes a lot of sense. And when something makes sense to me, that's where I invest. That's where I go. That's what I want. I just wanted the Jordan rookie card. So anyway, I hope that helps, and I hope it kind of clears up, just from a different answering point of view than Dustin. Dustin was kind of like, "I'm sick of it. Get what you want. Both cards are great. I'm going with this because of maybe I don't agree with Beckett exactly." And this was my answer, kind of long-winded, but I definitely wanted to kind of throw it out there to show that just as we all do, good information is always helpful. And as far as your brackets, but FYI, I actually thought the correct card won. The Fleer, it was basically a popularity bracket. And yeah, I do think that Jordan is the most popular card, the 86 Fleer, and it should have won. So I actually thought that would, ended up correctly. However, you guys, I would say consider this if you actually stick in the 84 Star 101 in that bracket somewhere, and now have which card do you think is going to grow the most in the next 5 to 10 years and be the most valuable? And then see how that bracket plays out. Maybe it would be a growth bracket. I don't know, but to see that where things change and kind of looking forward to the future of what's going to be the next card. I do feel that the Star 101 is simply vastly undervalued, just like Dave. And as in Dustin, he's kind of seeing the same thing, and that's why he acted on it. And be interesting to see what you guys thought. So anyway, thought I would give this reaction and hope you guys kind of get to see it all and watch it. And as Mike Myers would have said in Saturday Night Live, talks amongst yourselves. But thanks for listening, guys. Appreciate it. And I'll see you at the next video.